So official. I just love it. Okay. So welcome to Art Venture Encore. We have Anna is with us from Ireland. What time is it?
It's 5 p.m.
Okay. A little later than here. And it's 5 p.m. same day, right?
Exactly, same day, yes.
Saturday. Okay. And me and Jamie are gonna tag team moderate. Hitomi is a moving machine right now. Like she's moving and she's been so amazing. She's on also, but she doesn't have her computer to moderate. So me and Jamie are gonna moderate today. I'm so excited, Anna, that you're doing this again.
Super, it's great to be here.
I wanted to show people before we get started, like not only, you know, the kit is so full of goodness and we're going to have so much fun. But Anna, are these brushes still available?
You have to show me because all I can see is me, myself, and I.
Why is my camera not show? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, are these still, okay. These brushes are so awesome. So if you guys want a brush that's like, got amazing bristles, and I love the super long handle. Yeah. These are Anna brushes, and I don't know.
They are general mixed media purpose brushes. So they've got synthetic bristle, very nice, just soft enough and firm enough. And they've got various sizes depending what you need to do, from very fine and very small little ones to the ones that you mostly use for gesso or the acrylics for the larger surfaces. So in this set, you've got a bit of everything.
And 7 brushes in this kit. So like this will do pretty much all you need it to do, right? Like you've got pretty much everything.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
The plan was to make the kit of brushes for everything.
And then this was the other brush, this silicone one. It's a media silicone brush. Is this still available?
Yep.
Okay. And what do you use this one for?
This one is mostly useful when you want to apply pastes or gels through the stencils. So it's instead of palette knife, very, very nice because it is flexible. So you can really make a thin layer if you like, or you can put quite thick if you prefer. Very good for gesso applying on the pages or the canvases because it may be really thin. If you use a little bit of the force against the page, it goes super thin. And in general, it's easy to clean because it's silicone. So the problem with the metal palette knives and the plastic is it's hard to clean after using, because to chip off the art mediums, it's not so easy. They really get stuck. On the silicone, it's much better. You know, it's a little bit like with the kitchen tools. The same story.
Definitely like picking the stuff off of the palette knife or the scissors. It's a pain. Anyway, so I just wanted to show these brushes because we didn't really include brushes in the kit. And I thought, well, let's tell people what great brushes they could be getting to do these. And they said, are they on scrapbook.com? I'm not sure, Hitomi. I would think so. But Anna, do you have them on your site?
I do them in, it all depends on the availability at Prima. But most of the times we do. You can check scrapbook.com because they carry quite a lot of the products from my range, and there is a chance they have it. The main problem is sometimes they go out of stock, and they are quite popular items, so you sometimes need to wait or look a little bit better, and you know, patience is the key. But
Frank might have them too, right? Frank on his site, he might have them, and he's got a coupon code that you guys were emailed. So Anna and Frank both have listings on that list of coupon codes. So just let you guys know.
Yes, exactly.
And then can Jamie show your clock?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if these are available anymore. Do you know, Anna?
Let me turn it on.
You can find these little lights all over. And look, Jamie put hers inside her clock. So it's
I
all
don't know if they
lit
can
up.
see my screen or not because I'm not a co-host.
Yes,
I can-
exactly.
So, so I just wanted to show you guys, this was something you could buy with Prima, but I don't know anymore, but these are so easy to find, these little string lights.
I think they are out of stock, but you can easily find something similar at Amazon. On they have it in the, I don't know how you call them in the US. Here we call them fairy lights.
Yes.
So they have
Okay.
plenty of these, and
Yes.
this is good time to buy them because this is off the season. Because before Christmas everything gets twice as expensive,
Yeah.
but now it's after season, so it's good to buy extra.
Yes. There's a new list of coupon codes. So if you did not get that message, Jamie can send that over to you, Tracy. But did Frank extended his coupon code, right?
He was supposed to, so I'll send him an email.
Okay.
So that's the first time I've heard about it. So
Okay, great.
I'll let you know.
Anna, we're
Thanks
gonna
for
let
letting me know.
you, yeah, Anna, we're gonna spotlight you and let you take it away. And excited,
Ta-da!
everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great job. Here we go.
So hello again. Thank you so much for joining. Some of you were here before, and it's great to see you again in the classroom. For those of you who are for the first time, my big pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. And as Elena was explaining, please don't worry that I'm going to be one step ahead, because my job is to show you the final result and to show you what kind of results you need to achieve. So don't try to rush as fast as I go. First of all, I do it as my job, so I'm quite quick. Second, I always try to be faster so I can explain the final look to you. So I will be checking on you to see if it's okay, like, can we move on? And if you have any questions during the process, please let me know. I will have another phone here to see the questions, but in the case if I will miss it, the ladies are here and they're going to give me a shout. It is great pleasure to be here, and it's a great chance to show some of my products to the students and customers. And really, I do have a lot of products with Prima. These are starting with embellishments, which we're going to use. There are some metal frames, but mostly there are art mediums. And today you're going to have like selection of different ones, and you will see how they work together. And tomorrow we are going to use similar set, but in a different combination to achieve different results. And I hope you are going to love them. So before we're going to start, you have your clock, of course. This is the one we are going to alter. If you have different one, no worries. We need to open it and we need to take out the label and all the things. If you want to open it, of course, I use my nails, but if you're afraid, use your scissors. And then we just get that ready, because we're going to work inside and outside. And if you would like to prepare some tools, you need the brushes, you need maybe scissors, you will need a palette knife and something to put your paint or paste on. So for example, palette or some little tray or plate, whatever you like to use. And these are the things that we are going to utilize during the class. So I hope you will enjoy. I will switch the camera to the table view now, and we will go through it together. You're going to see the final result a little bit better as well. Okay, so this is the table view. I hope you can hear me and you can see everything. I'll just adjust it so it is in better position. I think this is perfect. Stop moving. Okay, so if you look at the final project, these are like two separate items that are going to come together. First of all, the bottom, so the back of the clock is like a mini layout we're going to work on. And then you can use the image, for example, the photo. This is the one I prepared for today, 2 friends, girls. And this is just the photo which is stuck on the top of the keyboard to make it a little bit more sturdy, more flat as well. This is one of the options. You can also use one big embellishment, whatever you can have at home. Some people prefer to do that. Just to show you, for example, if you would like to make pocket watch with some kind of composition inside, that would also work pretty nicely as a focal point. As you can see, we are going to make that part. Then, of course, there will be the back. And then we are going to decorate the sides and the front of the frame as well. So let's start. Let's start with the first steps. We are going to prepare the clock. I'm going to remove that label. And in your kit, you should have product which is called a modeling paste. It's in the tube. And that tube has an orange label. And this is the thing that we are going to use for our first step. We're going to create some texture with that because we would like to make possibly antiqued look. So there will be some imperfections, there will be some textures. To get that look, the easiest way is to create some effects using pastes or to use paste that has already some ingredients inside. For example, sand paste or something like microbead paste or glitter paste, so it has the grain. I'm going to put my gel medium on the palette. So the gel medium, this is modeling paste today. Oops, sorry for the noises. And to get quite cool results, you can just start by spreading that with your finger, and then you can tap it to create these like little peaks. So they are going to dry with this effect. You don't have to really do it everywhere, but it does look really cool. And it is going to create a lot of interesting detail that later, once we start painting that, it's going to give a chance to the paints to create unusual effects, and the coloring is going to be much more interesting. So as you can see, it's very relaxed technique. You can also use your silicone brush or the palette knife and do it the same way. But with this size of the project, finger is pretty good tool as well. And the paste we are using, it's also going to be our adhesive. So modeling paste is very important. It's not just the paste that you can use with your stencil or to create textures, but also it's very strong adhesive and you can use it to make dimensional assemblage or collage projects. And this is why I absolutely love it. If you don't have modeling paste, there's another option. You can replace it with the 3D matte gel or 3D gloss gel, and or even with the heavy body gel. But remember, this one is really super thick, and sometimes it may be not so easy to create the tappings like that because the creaminess is gone. It's more like jello. So now relax and tap your modeling paste on the sides and on the back of your clock. You can do a little bit on the front as well. Really, it's up to you how much you want to use, but don't do it too thick because the effect is going to be cool anyway with a smaller amount, but the drying time may be a problem. If you put like super thick coat, you may feel like, oh, it's drying forever. So why making your life harder, right? You can see that I'm just picking the top with my finger and tapping. Of course, if you don't like the texture, you can skip that step, but because we were planning to do a rusty look, something that is very aged, something that looks like this taken from the basement or maybe from the bottom of the sea, the more texture is better because it's going to look more convincing. It's going to have more of these interesting effects we will be able to get with the paints. Yeah, oh, maybe a little bit more here. That would be it. So now I can take my heat gun, or if you have a hair dryer, you can use your hair dryer, and we will dry it. So it's easier for us to work on the next step. For me, the most important is to dry. Sorry. This part, because I will start in the middle of the clock first. So I will try to put them together here to dry. And in the meantime, I will start taking the embellishments out.
This kit is seriously so awesome, Anna.
I'm glad you like it. I'm just opening everything, so it will be easier to tell you what you need tomorrow. So we can divide these embellishments into 2 groups as well.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality is it's your own project. So of course, if you really need to put something on today's project, you're not going to get a spanking. But
no, yeah, exactly.
If you want it to look just like Anna's or even similar, then you need to make sure that you divide up your goodies. How many projects do you have going at a time, Anna?
Usually 1 or 2, not too many. I just prefer to focus on one, and then I will just think about it, and then I will finish much faster than trying to work at 2 or 3 at the same time.
Do you have unfinished projects?
Yeah, I have one that is waiting at 3 years already.
Okay, good. I want to make sure you're normal.
Sorry. So what I'm going to do now in the meantime, this is the cover that we're going to use tomorrow. So if you want to use it as an example, I will show you which elements I'm going to use. So apparently I will need the big rose. I will need this one, something like this from the kit. So like a bigger cog, one of these, one of these, one of these, 2 of these, and some pebbles. Apparently pebbles, they are all in the small jar like that. And what is important, tomorrow we're going to need the biggest pebble, which is inside here. So make sure that you're going to save it for tomorrow, because this is quite important part. So I will put them in a bowl to find the big one. Okay, there are two really large, so I will save one for tomorrow. And now the other ones, they will stay here. Something like this, maybe. And then whatever stays from today. So just in case, if you have exactly my kit, this on the top is what I'm saving for tomorrow. Okay. I hope you can see them all, and whatever is left, we're going to use today. So all of the leaves, they're going for today. Most of the flowers, half of the cogs, and most of the pebbles as well from this little jar. In the meantime, this part is dry, so I will be able to work on it, and I will be able to create the layout and to prepare the embellishments without having that sticking to my mat forever and having hard job to do. And this one is just waiting and drying patiently, so no problem. Just in case if you need to have a look, this is the set for tomorrow, and I will put it in a safe place. We're also going to use this chipboard for the book. Okay, so I put it in the container, and if you need to see it again, let me know so I can always bring it back. And for today, we have these guys. They're mostly all from the, probably not the latest, but one of the latest collections. So they have really lovely patina and rusty finish, but we're going to paint them anyway today. So unfortunately, you are not going to see the beautiful look of it later. So now I can work on my plate without sticking to the background. And we're planning to make this kind of very simple layout. And what is going to be important here, we would like to remember this has to go back inside of the clock. So we have to keep the edge of the composition clear, because if you put embellishments too close to the edge, it's going to be too hard to close the clock again. So I would say 1-2 centimeters away from the main, from the edges. This is going to be safe. To make it easier, it is a good idea to start with the coat of gesso. So we're going to have nice white surface to work on. And this means it's going to be also matte, so it will be easier to glue the embellishments on the top. It doesn't have to be perfect though. It is just for priming and starting. We will make it white later. So you can just now give it like a quick coat of the gesso and then dry it with your heat gun. Maybe it's a good idea to put a paper towel, for example. So one coat is going to be enough. Colors, we're going to adjust them later. Okay, so this is just priming now. Metal will be easier to work on. Perfect. And again, we dry it. You will see when you dry, the gesso turns a little bit more transparent. This is natural. Gesso usually doesn't have so much pigment as the white acrylic paint, because it's supposed to be a primer only. So it's quite natural that when you use gesso and you want really white finish and your surface is in the darker tone, for example, it's wood or metal, you will need 2-3 coats to get it to the really white color. It turns matte pretty quickly and it also dries quickly. So it's not too much work to do. And now we are going to do some planning and some composition. So on one side, we have pretty cool textures, quite dramatic effects, as you can see. On that side, we have a primer, so it will be easier to stick our embellishments in the right places. Remember about the clear space close to the edge, so try to keep it compact and in the middle. And if you have your focal point that is that is going to be your main element, it's good to have it on hand so you can check how much space you really have. This is the size of the popular ID photo, so you can compare to that. Oh, she had something on her face, and that means I have quite some space around it, and that is going to sit on the top of that as well. So I can start looking at different elements. And one of the elements I really like to use is this big knob, maybe that would be the good name. And inside of it, you can put some kind of a flower, for example, the rose or the bigger one. And then for the good balance, you can put another one in the opposite corner. This is really up to you. Here I made composition like that, and that's really pretty. Don't be afraid of the dimension because it is all going to be inside, quite deep in the clock. So the more dimensional look, the better. So let's talk a little bit about gluing and how to arrange all these elements and how to make sure everything stays in place. When you glue the elements in the dimensional project, you need to have something that is going to be quite thick and it's going to dry quite fast as well. That's why solutions like 3D gel, modeling paste, or heavy body gel are really, really good because they are intentionally done very sticky. So I squeeze out a portion of the modeling paste and I put it here so you can see what I'm using. I take away the gesso so you're not confusing these with each other. And now I will start measuring how far I want to go with the composition. Okay, let's say like this. And then I put a big blob of this paste and I press it down without really worrying that part of this is visible. If you see the paste or gel after gluing, it's still okay. We will cover that with the textures. We will cover that with paints and gesso, so you don't have to worry too much. Okay, so this way I have beginning of my composition. Now I can start filling the empty spaces with some other parts. Don't use too much of these because we will use them for the composition on the outside. We have, yeah?
Can I ask you, can you explain to everyone that maybe doesn't know your style as much, why do you use the heavy, what is it, the heavy modeling paste instead of adhesive?
That's what I said in a moment ago. So because it is thick, and this is because it is holding the things in place better. And when it comes to embellishments which are quite dimensional, it's holding that in place very easily. And it's also acrylic based, so it works with all the other art mediums.
Sorry,
and adhesives are usually very liquid, and liquid is problem because you have to wait for a long time for the things to get solid, and then you have to wait until you can paint it. Was it that?
Yes, I was zoning out, I guess, when you said that. Okay, cool. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. So I'm trying to find the elements I can use in that composition. Something cute, something that is going to look nice. So I will try to maybe take one or two of these cogs, maybe these two. I will try to pick up some leaves. And what is great about leaves, you can also cut them into smaller things. And I will, of course, use some of the pebbles. And again, it doesn't have to be too much. We're trying to keep it compact and to have it all nicely organized. So let's go. I think we're going to cut this one so we can save some of the leaves, and then we can have nice leaf coming out of that part of the composition. And look, again, I'm putting big blob of the paste and I press it down. So this is going to stick nicely. And then you can put another element on the top of that as well. So for example, you can combine it with that pebble or the cog on the top. Then for good balance, I can use another leaf on the other side. So this way it will have this nice diagonal line to follow. And then of course we can use a bit of these more dimensional elements as well. I'm not sticking the photo because it's easier to paint it when you don't really have anything that's delicate in the composition. It's the last thing you can glue in. So I will do it once everything is painted. I'm just trying to surround my photo with nice elements, sticking in pebbles and sticking in leaves, but keeping that very compact and very close to each other. Okay. For example, like this. Then I need something on that side. Let's use this one. Sorry, I will take it off for a moment so I can see what I'm doing. Stay flat. And we need something for this empty space here. Maybe some more leaves. Come on. It's running away. So this way, I'm trying to fill the empty spaces with some quite cool details. And I start, as you can see, with the big elements, and then I try to go to smaller ones and to smaller ones. So this way, everything will be easier to build. When you start with small things, then the big things usually don't fit anymore. So the easiest way is to always pick the biggest parts of your composition first, and then fill the empty spaces with the smaller ones. This is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to find cool looking smaller bits and pieces. And then when something is completely out of order and annoying, like this paste here, you can always come with the brush, possibly a little bit wet brush, and you can take it off. So now, checking with my photo again, quite cool. I still need maybe some smaller bits and pieces. So in your pebbles jar, you have really small pieces of pebbles. They really look like very small beads, and they are great for filling the gaps and adding extra dimension. So I'm going to use some of these for the final touches. They work really well as screws inside of the inside of the cogs or flowers. I'm going to put this one into the flower. They really like to be next to embellishments to create dimensional look as well. You can slide them under the big ones, or you can stick them on the top of the flat ones. And then if you are not sure, is it full enough, you can take the big, the frame, and just to see how it's going to look through the hole. So you will really see if there's any empty spot you would like to fill. And again, don't try to be perfect, because we're going to add some extra elements on it later as well. For example, micro beads, and the texture is going to look a little bit different. Okay, let's check with the clock. Not too bad. I think I can see the photo and I can see the main embellishments. It's in the center and it's far enough from the edge. Maybe this leaf needs to go a little bit deeper. I will show you that closer so you can have a look. What is the plan for the inside of the composition? And I will remove the photo so you can see how it is in reality. And here's to compare with the painted one. So I will give you a moment to work on that. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you would like me to repeat something or to explain again. Really, the best way to start is to put the big elements first and try to balance them. So if you put one big element, try to put another one on the opposite side, almost like in a diagonal line. And if you put some leaves, try to balance them with some other leaves. If you put a flower, try to balance that with the flower. So this way composition will get very, very well balanced. And no matter which way you're going to look at it, it's going to be pleasing to the eye.
Hannah, how about while they are doing some little bit of design, can you tell them, are you ready to teach in person again? We're all just so curious about that.
Honestly, mentally, yes, of course, because I can't wait to see people. However, physically, I'm not able to leave my country yet, because we still have very strict restriction in Ireland. It's part of being on the island as well. They are trying to shelter the people as much as they can from influences from the outside. And the vaccinations are rolling out, but they are not, well, not in my age group for sure. I'm still waiting for that. And I'm not sure when we're going to get some more info. Hopefully mid of April, they should start give us some information. So, and of course, I would love to come and teach, but so far we are not really able to travel that much. And if I don't want to risk staying in the paid hotel for 2 weeks as a part of quarantine, it's better if I stay here. You have to pay. Now, if you come back from the country which is on the list as potentially dangerous countries because of the spread of the virus or the virulence of the virus, they make you book a hotel in advance before you come back. And it is, I think, almost 3,000 euro for 2 weeks of the mandatory quarantine.
Oh my God.
So, so if you plan vacation, for example, and you're going somewhere and you don't know how the situation is going to change, it's better you will have spare 3,000 on your account, because you may get stuck in the hotel near the airport.
Oh my gosh.
So this is not really easy situation. And of course, there's a list of countries that is now having the troubles, but this list may change quickly. So it may happen that if you live somewhere for 2 weeks, before you come back, the country you are in may be on the list. And this is like, it's so hard. I can't wait. I just want to go and see people again. But honestly, I have to keep in mind that from my point of view, it's better to wait these few weeks or few months longer until the situation will get really better all over the world.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to go too early, because it's very different in different countries now. Some are doing the vaccinations very quickly and they have great results and, you know, almost getting there with the population. Some of them are slower. And also the spread of the virus is different depending on where you are. So mentally, I'm already in the classroom.
So what about doing something locally where you are? Have you had anybody approach you for local classes?
Usually I organize my classes myself here because we have a nice venue in the hotel. However, the gatherings are still forbidden.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So there's no way. And people here, they are ready to wait until the situation is going to be solved. And I think this is fair. Like we had very nice setup here in the hotel in Athlone, which is like a very central part of Ireland. So it's easy for to people to go there from different places. So from Dublin, from Cork, or from Shannon Airport, you know, it's convenient and it's a small country as well. So it's easy to drive. And it was perfect. We did it 2 or 3 times and we always have very nice group, 20, 25 people over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen sitting and creating together. But now I have to wait.
Yeah. Well, we miss you.
Oh, I miss you too. I just can't wait to go.
Almost.
You don't even know, you can't even imagine how much I miss traveling. And yeah, Caroline says, yes, the same here in the UK with the quarantining after traveling to certain countries. So we have very similar policy in UK and in Ireland. This is the situation now. So I just hope I will be do some vacation locally this year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is more or less what we need for now. You don't have to worry about colors. You don't need to worry about any beads or anything. This is just going to, you know, dry it for a minute and let it go on the side so we can focus on the outside of the frame, and this is going to dry in the meantime. Yeah, I wish I could.
I know everybody's dying for it, but we're almost there. I feel like we're getting so close.
Yes, we are. A good thing is I can do a lot of things online, and I do have regular classes for my patrons on the Patreon, and I do have some events going on, and like, you know, live streams or Facebook lives. And this is always keeping me busy. And if I don't do that, I always keep myself busy some other way. So it's not too complicated, but honestly, I think it's taking its toll on us. Like we feel frustrated and tired, and it's, you know, a little bit like running in circles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we just, on some point, there's just a moment like we have enough. Like now, for me, I mentioned that before to my friends, like April, I do in a survival mode. I don't know what is wrong with me in April, but I just feel a bit, not maybe sad, but it's hard for me. And there's no reason to complain. Like nothing bad is happening. We are still safe and my family is fine. Everything is just, yeah. So for no obvious reason, my brain just decided this is the time to complain and this is what is happening. So I have to wait and it's going to go away.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are affected mentally and emotionally by this. It's definitely, like you said, taking its toll. But that's why something like this, these kind of events have really been
exactly. It makes huge difference for people, and it also not just for students, because that is, you know, of course we are all sitting at home, and we would love to go to the classroom, but also for people who are doing that as a main job, like we are missing this contact with people. We just want to do it. Like I used to travel a lot, now I can't completely, and this is like out of this world.
Very different.
It is, yeah, Caroline mentioned, yeah, we are not able to be with the family for holidays. My family is in Poland. I didn't see my parents since December 2019 because yeah, and on the break of 2019 and then 2020, we went together for a small vacation, and then 2020 started to be the problem in early March. So I just wish I could see my parents.
Yes.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. Soon.
Soon, exactly. Yeah, and Oriana says in Panama, the vaccines are very slow as well. Yeah, it's similar in Ireland as well. Okay, guys, I think I will try to move on to the next step. We will do similar thing, which means taking the modeling paste and the embellishments that we have left and using them to decorate the outside of the frame. And I want to show you some ideas you can use, if you can try to put on your project. It really does look nice when you have the composition on the top. And it's quite easy to do. It's like little flower bouquet sitting on the top of your frame, adding extra dimension. I'm showing you that now on my hand. It's really pretty element. And then you can use some of the embellishments here also to add a really cool look on the front of it, which combined with the pebbles and the natural decorations of the frame, it's going to be very, very cool. So I have the modeling paste here. I have some of the embellishments, and I will start on the top, trying to find the best combination. And the one I really like is combining the cog and the flower, these two. This is the big one. And this is a flower that can sit on the top of it. I think now it's more flat. Really? Now. And we have quite a lot of space here. So you can look at the leaves, which are going to add extra effects, or you can add composition of the smaller embellishments around it for extra touches. Of course, you can combine it with pebbles. I intentionally saved a lot of leaves because I would like to add them to this to create like a flower bouquet effect. And first of all, I will try to organize them in the way that they're going to fit around the handles, right? So apparently this one would be much easier if I remove this flower. Watch your fingers, don't cut your fingers. Yeah, much easier. And I will stick it on the modeling paste. This is going to be here. Okay, so then the same way for the good balance, I can put another kind of leaf on the other side as well. This is a good thing when you have good scissors, which are quite strong. You can cut your embellishments to fit. You don't really have to use them the way they are. You can create your own version of the embellishments. And now I'm going to stick the big cog with the big blob of the paste. So this is going to make it all sit nicely together. And then I can fill the gaps with the remaining leaves. That should be easy because it's almost like working in the flower shop and trying to make pretty composition for your table. Now, really simple, but very effective. Now I can look at what I've got left. This I can use on the front. Is there anything I have in two? This is one of the ideas. If you have elements that are similar to each other, you can repeat them in a symmetrical way. So they're going to make more mechanical look. So now I found these and they are same shape, just different color. And I'm going to stick them on the both sides of the composition. Oh, of course, if I will get them in the right place because they like to run away. Yeah, so when you were asking about traveling and about classes, this is something that I really miss, but I'm trying to keep myself on the track and then focus on the things that I can do instead of thinking about the things I cannot, because it doesn't make me any better. It's the opposite. I feel just angry and sad. So I think this is the best what we can do at this point. Just focus on the things which are possible. And this way to make our life easier and to, just try to find things that you enjoy and maybe create some new relationships with people. This is what is important as well. You can make new friends online, or you can start some new hobby, or you start some activities that you never had chance to do. And you maybe read books that you were always waiting to read, or taking the class like today that you always wanted to do. And there's also great things coming from this situation for many of us. And surely there were many blessings for me coming from it. Like I learned that I have to stop and I can focus on creating more and thinking more on the projects instead of just classes. And I absolutely love it. But on the other hand, there's one moment when I wake up and then like, let me out. So
I think we're all feeling a little bit trapped.
yeah, it's like, let me out.
And in the US, well, like in San Diego, we had a few days ago with no new cases and no new deaths. And it was just amazing.
Yay.
But we've really rolled out the vaccine quickly here.
Perfect.
So
I'm so happy for you.
It's been really lucky, but I just can't wait.
Me too. I really hope I will be able to do a bit of the traveling for the vacation, because it's my big dream to go somewhere and enjoy the open space, maybe.
Yeah. And you're going with your family, right? In August?
Well, I hope I will be able to see my parents in August, hopefully,
Okay.
because they are vaccinated already.
Okay.
And now it's all about me, and we will see how it works. And in the worst case, we are going to just go, me and my husband, somewhere, hopefully. I'm 45 minutes away from the ocean and I can't see it because it's too far to drive, because we're not supposed to go that far.
Right.
So this is like, let me go.
Yeah. Yes,
So
and in your pants.
Yeah. Okay, so look what I've done. I created like a flower and leaves, and then I use pebbles like berries. They're like little berries sitting around the flower. This is really cute. And on the top of that, we have these two mechanical elements. And this is going to be quite enough for the top. So I can leave it as it is. But before I will flip and start working on the front, it's a good idea to dry it. So by accident, you are not going to ruin it. It's not going to slide. So now I will just dry it for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I'm going to flip it, and then we will work on the front.
Anna, Audrey said that's why she's so happy we have the Prima Art Venture classes. And
Yes.
Also, Carolyn said Patreon has been an absolute positive during this pandemic. All of these
Yes.
online things is what's saving our sanity right now.
Exactly. And I enjoyed my Patreon group so much. I promised them already that no matter what happens, I'm not going to stop after it is all over, because we created such a wonderful community there. And we did so many great projects together that I think this is just something that has to be going. And I will make sure that it's going to stay, because the formula we worked on, I think it's really, really cool, and it keeps me creative as well. So it's like a double benefit. For me, it keeps me, you know, more motivated and focused, and gives me more ideas to create. And it gives a chance to the people to focus on their own creativity and to learn things and to take classes, or just to watch and be together. So I think we're all winners here.
I totally agree. That's so great to hear.
Okay, let's, too hot. Okay, I didn't put enough paste here, but almost. Be careful when you touch, because remember, metal gets very hot. Oh my God, my fingers. Yeah. So now it's better. And then we're going to decorate the sides and the front. Oh, thank you, Becky.
Okay,
So close up look.
absolutely. I loved Audrey. She said, I always keep a bowl of ice cream when I'm using a glue gun and a heat gun.
That's so smart.
For eating and fixing your fingers. I love it.
Very, very smart. So I'm showing you the close-up. It's very hot, so I'm not trying to touch it anymore. And you can see there's a big blob of paste here. Don't worry, we will make sure it's not going to be visible. Later, we will put the textures on. You can see it here, like the beads. So this won't be a problem.
The beads look so crunchy. Okay, can you just really quick tell people, in case anyone doesn't know, or in case anybody watches the video and doesn't know, what is your Patreon? Just a real quick summary.
It's a monthly subscription where you can join anytime and cancel anytime. And there are several tiers to pick from, but on each one you've got a unique set of benefits. So of course, every higher one includes everything which is in the lower one. And that means live classes, like live stream classes during the month. And on €10 level, this is going to be 2 minimum. Or this is live stream and video. And on the higher tiers, you also get special giveaways or another live stream, which is exclusive, or some other cool stuff happening, such as gifts. And also there will be discount codes for different shops, which are all over the world. And there will be some surprise things going on. Like this month, there will be live stream because this is my birthday month, so we are going to make some games and some prizes as well. And this is just lovely community on Facebook as well, where we create challenges, we make projects, we ask for opinion, we chat, and I think this is really supportive and wonderful art tribe we created. This is in short words. You can always join and try it for 1 month. If you don't enjoy it or you have no time, you can always opt out and then come back when you are ready, or just forget you ever tried it and never come back as well if you hate it, because you know there is no obligation. Like minimum is 1 month, because this is what you get, and then you can stay or you can decide that this is not for you. Okay. This is, I think, solid enough so I can flip it, and I can try to make composition on the front and on the back. So I'm trying to make like a little bit of the audition, which elements are going to work better with each other, what we can do. This is really cool element, which can go, for example, here, and maybe combined with this knob or with this one. There, that's pretty. And then I can put this one here. Maybe I can find something more flat instead. I'm going to sneak into my kit and swap it with the other one. Oh, I think that will be better combination. Okay, so I'm going to add these. And then I can add some extra pebbles on the sides and on the front. And this should work pretty well. This one I won't need today. It goes for tomorrow. So again, nothing changed. I keep using modeling paste. And I glue these guys in the right position. This is quite empty here, so I have to put a lot of paste. That's why I make such a big blob, because there's this gap. I need to go over it. And this one on the top, cleaning a little bit. And now the same one here. So decorating part is great when you have things already picked. But the problem starts when you have so many things at home and you don't know which ones you'd like to use, because then you may run in circles and you keep going back to your stash and look for the things. So in fact, it's a very good plan to prepare what you want to use in advance. So at least the main elements that you want to use will be there in front of you. So you don't have to distract yourself too much. So there's an advantage of working with a kit because the kit is making your life a little bit easier when it comes to embellishments and making the composition. Now I'm looking for the pebbles that will be good imitation of the screws. They also go nicely together with these elements of the frame. So that's a perfect fit. See, Oriana, this is what I mean, running around. It's nothing wrong. It's extra exercise as well, but it's easier to stay focused on the project when you have your selection pre-made. And when you go to the class and you get a kit, this is one of the advantages. You can just focus on learning the techniques instead of thinking what to use, because basically you have your selection done for you already. And when I make projects, especially for the live shows, I try to do the same thing. I try to pick my elements in advance, so I don't have to stress or think too much on the composition before, during the show. I did it before. So this way everything goes smoother and I can focus just on explaining everything and showing the composition, the ways, and giving some advice. Because when I work for myself, I usually run in circles as well. Because I change my mind too much. Okay. Now before I will start gluing to the sides, I will show you that the bigger pebbles you can add on the sides of the project as well. They're going to add extra dimension, really cool elements. And when we are going to make the drips, these large pebbles are going to look just perfect. They're going to stop the drips a little bit, and the result is going to be just beautiful. So if you have some of the bigger ones, you can now include them into your project as well. They usually like to have some company, so I will make sure they're not too lonely.
They still get to gather.
Yeah, of course.
They're not
That makes-
quarantined.
I guess they're just immune. They are
They've had-
pebbles.
They've had their shots.
Yeah. For example, something like this. Nice group of pebbles, and then we can do something similar on the other side. And you know, because this is just a side of the clock, it's going to add a little bit of extra. And again, the technique is the same, just blobs of paste. And then whatever is left, we will keep for tomorrow. These pebbles are left, so I can leave them for tomorrow. And then I will show you now what kind of composition I've got. This is the side, the front, and another side. We have all the embellishments glued on, and that will be the moment to take your heat gun again and dry it. And I will give you a moment to finish your composition, but remember, it doesn't have to be too much. Don't worry, just pick the things that are calling your name. Sometimes the first idea is the best one. Becky, a mastery to Becky, who said that she's also running in circles now. But it's really fine. Now I try to straighten it before I will dry it, because
So Becky is saying she didn't get the kit for the second class, but Becky, the kit is for
Yeah.
both classes. So you have all the stuff for both classes right there in that bag. So you got it all.
I think what she means is because this is the second time she's doing it. She didn't get the second
Oh.
kit. Yeah. That's what I think.
Gotcha.
I remember Becky being here last time, yeah?
Yes, she was here last time. So you didn't get another kit. Yes. Okay. Got you, Becky. Want to just make sure everyone knows you have all the stuff for both classes. But yeah, if you used it all last time, then you got to run around like a crazy person and find it in your studio.
Now take your time, take your heat gun, and start drying so everything will stay in place. This way it's going to be much easier to work on it. It's better to dry longer than to start painting too quickly. Of course, if you can, and this is not a class situation, you can leave it to dry naturally and do something in the meantime. And it's going to be, of course, the best. But in the classroom situation, or when you are in a hurry, you can absolutely use the heat gun, because these pastes, these gel mediums, are all designed to work with the heat gun. So you can speed up the drying process. I will let it cool down for a moment because it's very hot. I will check on the inside composition. Seem to be pretty fine. Just one more for better measure. So maybe 2 more minutes to get the things dried. It's very, very hot. So I have to let it cool down. And in the next step, we are going to use white gesso. So I'm going to put modeling paste back in the container for tomorrow. And then I'm going to bring the white gesso. This is different tube. So this is the one we're going to use now.
Anna, can your waxes be used on leather?
Yes, they can, but you have to, again, make sure they're going to be completely dry before you're going to touch it. If it's going to be the leather that is, just for decoration purposes, no problem. For wearing, after some time, they may start to just rub off. It's just like any other wax. It's the same with the waxed furniture. If you have waxed furniture, after some time, you have to reapply the wax because it's going to rub off. And with the leather that you wear as a part of your outfit, you may need to reapply after some time, but it's going to be okay. That's a very good question. Okay, so 1 more minute to get it all dry. Muszę tam te drzwi otworzyć, bo się duszy. Strasznie gorąco. Okay. Okay, so now I will let it cool down a little bit longer. I will take this one and I will put some mat or something, or maybe paper towel. And now we're going to paint it on both sides. We need to paint it on the outside to make sure this is all nicely white. So our colors will present themselves beautifully. And then of course we need to one more coat here because this is not perfect and we want embellishments to be white as well. So I'm going now to take white gesso. I'm going to remove leftovers of the modeling paste so I can use my palette on the right side. And I squeeze out, well, trying to find the cleanest. Let's say this one is the cleanest. And then I'm going to paint all of the embellishments. One coat is enough because we are going to paint it with acrylic paints, so they will cover all the imperfections. But if you feel you want to do 2 coats, my advice is to put 1 thin coat, dry it, and then repeat. It's much easier than to try to put 1 very thick coat. Gesso in general works better if it's applied in layers instead of dabbing a lot at one time. So you can see I'm already repainting the background and then repainting the embellishments. You don't have to paint inside in the middle because here is the photo anyway. So no problem. The most important is to repaint the embellishments nicely. Wait, I forgot one thing. I was too quick. I will have to dry it and then I have to do it again because I forgot about micro beads. I was too quick. I just realized like, wait, something is missing. No worries. I paint the outside and I will do the micro beads and then dab it. So now the outside frame, again, coat of gesso on the top of the modeling paste. It's going to create really nice effects. Okay, let's dry it and see if it's white enough. Remember, don't hold it when you dry it because you may burn your fingers. Yeah, I think I will put one more coat. This is
Hey, Anna, does she need to paint the art stones with gesso?
Yes, everything. This is going to be, well, okay. If you have art stones, they're almost white, so you don't have to. But I'm going to paint micro beads in our next step because I went a little bit too fast. So now I will just finish the back of the frame and I will apply the micro beads and then we'll paint everything with gesso. Oriana, who is using art stones, she can just keep them as they are because they're white and matte anyway. But micro beads we have to paint. Sorry. Now this is going to be really white. I'm happy with this one. And I look for the micro beads now. So now, before we are going to apply the gesso, it's good to stick the micro beads. They are the ones which are going to create our lovely texture. However, they come in different colors. For example, here's the gold one. Sometimes you can find in your kit white gold or silver or black or brown. And I know some of them are easier to paint than others. For example, last time we discovered that black ones, they really go through the gesso. So you have to paint them probably 2 times and then finally the acrylic paints. But I'm going to use the gold ones today. They should be okay. And we need to apply them in the inside of the frame. So we will get those lovely organic looking textures. I hope my camera is in focus so you can see them nicely. And we are going to repeat the same step on the outside of the frame to create these lovely textures sitting on the composition. And there are 2 options of the adhesives you can use. One of them is just very sticky gel medium. I keep using soft gloss gel, which is transparent liquid gel medium. And this is easy solution. It's something that is part of my range as well. But you can use any clear drying adhesive that is easy to apply with the brush. So it may be any glue you like. And I squeeze out that, and then I will dab it on the embellishments in the parts when I would like to cover. Maybe there's something ugly, like a blob of paste. Maybe there's some texture missing because it's too boring. Or maybe you just would like to add extra for good measure. The most important thing is take a small brush and dab it with the quite generous amount of the gel. So all the beads you're going to use, or like Oriana has the art stones, which are a little bit lighter and matte finish, they're going to stick. So you don't have to struggle with that later. Okay, that should be enough here. And now I'm just sprinkling these on the top. And removing the excess. You can arrange them a little bit with the brush if you like, move them. But they look quite cool as they are. So these are the textures we are going to have here.
Those
which is good.
Those little beads are all over my house. I know they're all over everyone's house.
This is like glitter. I'm sorry, this is a little bit like glitter.
They're very fun.
Yes, but also very friendly. They go wherever you go. Okay, and then we do the same thing on the outside as well. They really look cool on the pebbles. They add like extra texture to these round shapes, and it does look very cool. So I really like to combine it, and I use them a lot because they really add this texture, but also very organic, natural looking effect. And especially if you're planning projects inspired by the ocean or any kind of vacation projects, people use them a lot to imitate the sand as well, because they look so perfect for that. But today it's not the sand, it's just a general crispy, rusty grunginess.
Crispy, rusty, grunginess. These are.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a word like that now in English language.
Absolutely.
So
perfectly describes your stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I need a little bit on the side as well, so I'm adding more. I really like to have the texture on these big pebbles. Okay, and then again, we apply these. If you want, you can do it over your rubbish bin, which may be a very good solution, because this way they are not going to take over your whole space. This is what I'm doing now, sprinkling over my rubbish bin. So this is the result I'm getting. And this is great technique to cover all the imperfections of the composition. So if there were any parts that were not so pleasing to your eye, now you can hide them and pretend this is exactly what you wanted, and this is the best composition you ever made. Look at these, they're so cool. And now I have to dry it. But before that, I will just make sure I move any of the stones that I don't like. Not the stones, microbeads. But honestly, I think this was very successful microbead session, so no problems. You don't need the glue after that. It was the only step when you really needed the glue or the sticky gel medium, liquid gel medium. Now we will dry it and we will focus on the gesso. So we will cover everything, including the beads. This is a great moment to ask questions if you have any as well, because there's nothing I can do. Just wait for the gel medium to dry. I always try to move my heat gun around, so this is not burning only in one place. So this way, the composition dries more evenly.
So one thing that people had said on the surveys is they wanted us to have a break where they could go to the bathroom.
That
So-
is very important. Good question.
Yeah.
Do you need a break, guys?
So
Because if you do,
is this a good time, Anna, for them to
exactly. This is the
Okay.
best time.
make your potty run right now?
You can leave your heat gun drying. This is what I do a lot. I just put it in the distance. If it has this, little stand, you can use it for, and then I go wash my hands or I go potty or other things.
I know, I love that you have your lazy heat drying.
That is so helpful.
technique. Yeah,
Like, I know this is not a quiet heat gun, but it has some advantages. Really.
but we
And
can't
it's
hear
free.
it. We can't hear it. It's so amazing.
I know, this is the, we discovered, this is like the Zoom feature.
Zoom is magic.
Yeah, cut off all the background noises.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, this is different. Like, so I could say this is very quiet heat gun, but you wouldn't even know.
That's right. You don't have to tell us. We just think it's like the coolest heat gun you've ever seen in your whole life.
No, sorry, no. Very, very regular and very well, good one. Nothing wrong about it. Just a heat gun. No fireworks. Nothing. But I really like the stand. This is the most important for me.
Yeah, the fact that it'll stand there and do your work for you. It's perfect.
Exactly.
All right, so have you been thinking about your next art venture class, Anna? Maybe you can give them a little sneak thought into your head.
I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. I'm
Okay.
not sure what I'm going to do next week, and you're asking me about next adventure class.
I don't know, maybe you thought about it and something amazing
No.
popped in your head.
I will do my best to make it really cool, but
No
honestly,
doubt.
by that time I will be a different person already. You don't know what I can think about.
That's true.
It all
That-
happens. Like, we wake up and we feel completely different.
That's true.
Let's see how dry it is. Oh, I'm trying to keep it It's super hot now. I let it cool down. And then maybe we will start painting. You have a moment to have a break, to grab something to drink, or to go to the bathroom, or to get a fresh breath of air, whatever you need to do.
Yes, please go take your personal break right now.
This is the most important. Yeah, it seems to be dry, but anyway, it's too hot to paint. This is one of the really unusual things, surprising things when you work on the metal frame for the first time. You don't think about it, but they get hot so quickly because it is metal. So everything is just turning into scorching hot in a moment. So you have to be careful when you handle that. It doesn't happen to canvases, or it doesn't happen to the keyboard books or anything. This is only happening with the metal frames, and you have to watch your fingers because you can grab it by accident and then you will be in pain. And this is not nice at all.
Not nice.
I'm rubbing off the excess of the paste of my wine time. Oh, that sounds perfect. Becky is on the right track. This is a good moment for
Go,
wine.
Becky. So Anna.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to talk about doing your Patreon and continuing it. I was just looking at it. You have some really cool stuff that you're offering. Like, you're letting people pick the monthly surprise.
Yep.
So just for the third level, they get a monthly surprise that everyone chooses. That's so cool. Like, what?
Yeah, we usually make a voting, and I give like 5 or 6 different options. That may be another video, or that may be a giveaway, or that may be like some other activity they want to do, and they vote what they want to get in the month.
So what have they voted for before? What have they picked?
Oh, the most popular are the giveaways because they like to get the little gifts coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I give away my projects that I make, and they voted in the past for example, bags with my print on it, because I made some printed bags and I was able to send them to the people. And they voted for extra live stream, and they voted for, it just depends. And I try to come with fun solutions, but it's always up. I think one of the most fun ones, it was like a surprise pack I made from the supplies from my studio, which means I give away a little bit of the things that I collect myself. So some of the rusty pieces, some of the lace, some of the papers, like, pages from the old books, and some cabinet cards. I made 2 packs like that, and it was one of the most popular giveaways, I think, because people were really interested what is going to be inside, and they loved it. It was really, really cool. And I think
that sounds really awesome, because it's stuff that your mind to use. Yeah. Oh, that sounds super fun.
Mm-hmm. And I was able to put some of the things which are local and typically Irish as well. In some of the bags, I remember I was able to find chocolate, and it's Cadbury chocolate, but I don't know for what reason, Cadbury decided to make addition with the names on the top, and there were some with the name Finn on the top, because this is Irish male name.
Oh,
so
cool.
I bought 3 of these, and as an extra surprise, I put them into giveaway. So somebody was getting my products and the chocolate with the name Finn on the top.
How fun.
Fun, exactly. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a little treasure chest, exactly. And I think the person that got the packs, they were really surprised, because there were some unusual items as well. It's just, in some parts of the world, you can't really get certain things. For example, in the flea market, they're not popular. In other parts, they're very common and you can buy them easily. And we don't even realize which ones are so cool. So when you, for example, collect cabinet cards, right? They're really beautiful antique photos, but even the back of these cards is very different depending on the country they're from, because usually there is the signature or like the nice logo of the photographer who made them. And they're in different languages, and the font is beautiful, and the artwork sometimes is amazing. So, it's just pure pleasure to work with that. And then you've got pages from different books, so they're different languages but also different fonts, and that's very inspiring to see. So I have some which are in German, so they're with Gothic font. I think the oldest book I have got is from 1882, and this one is in Gothic font, and I think this book is from Sweden. I got it from one of my patrons. So that is amazing book, and I use it as a base for my stencil as well. So if you know the Gothic stencil, I will try to show you that one. Oh, that one. This stencil is in fact based on one of the pages from that book. So of course this is not possible to read anymore because I rearranged the letters and rearranged the words, but the whole book printed with this font looks absolutely amazing.
That is so cool.
Yeah, some of these are amazing, really, really. So it's always nice to share your supplies. Karian says, since the last class, I have made 52 Easter eggs with Finnabair products and techniques. We are so popular. So fun, the real booster when people love it. Yay, 52 eggs. I'm impressed.
They're beautiful too. They are amazing. So I hope everyone's back, but do you want to go ahead and move forward,
yes,
as your project dry?
Exactly. Now I'm taking again gesso, white gesso, and we are going to paint everything, including the beads that I forgot. So I'm going to take the brush, again, bigger or medium-sized brush, and then the easiest way to paint the beads is to dab. So I'm just going to dab on it. They don't have to be painted 100% white. Remember that, because we're going to put a lot of color on the top. So if they're whitish, this is enough. I think sometimes people, they really try too hard and to want to make everything completely white. It's not needed. You're just making your life harder. So if you plan painting over it, it's just enough to like whitewash everything. And this way it's going to work really well. Unless you're going for like winter Snow White project, then yeah. But then after primer, I would just use acrylic paint because this one has much more of the white pigment than gesso. Okay, that should be it. Let's see. Multitasking, dabbing and drying. This one is done. This is the back, this is the front. And now I repeat the same thing, now painting the frame. So I will put a coat of gesso on everything, and then I will dry it and see if I need to do touches in some places. You can paint everywhere outside. There's no need to paint inside because we will have quite dimensional composition anyway. Kotku, przepraszam cię. Wyłącz grzanie. 52 Easter eggs. I'm still impressed. Wow. I made 3 and I feel tired.
Carrie Ann, did you end up selling all of them? I know you were selling them, right? I wonder if she has any left to show us. The ones you posted, Anna, were amazing. Where did you get the glass?
This is not really glass. This is like a clear acrylic.
Oh, okay.
And clear acrylic eggs. And you can order them from the craft shop sometimes. They're sometimes on Amazon as well, but I really wanted larger sizes so I can fit something nicely inside. And I messaged one of the shop owners I know from Berlin, and she checked with the wholesaler and she was able to get me 16 centimeters tall, the one that open side to side, and then 9 centimeters tall, which were standing eggs. So I got 2 different ones, and I played with these. And the great thing that happened is in the big ones, you could fit one of my frames from the new mold, and that was just perfect. And I was so excited when it happened, because I was able to create a really beautiful dimensional effect inside.
It was meant to be.
Apparently, I didn't know that when I was asking for 16. I think she said, oh, you can have 12, 16, 20. And so, and it's like, yeah, let's take 16. That should be big enough. And then just, wow, perfect. That was meant to be, as you said.
Yeah. I love it when that happens.
Sometimes it's just happy coincidence.
Yes.
Oh, this one is still moving. I have to be careful. But this is first layer of gesso. It's already very different to what we had before, but I will dry it and I will repeat. So it's going to cover all the unwanted color. It doesn't have to be 100% white, but remember also the gesso is going to turn a little bit more transparent when it's dry. So I will probably see parts that are still quite dark. Yeah, all sold. Oh, good.
I know. I saw that. You'll have to show us a picture, Carrie Ann. Anna, I wanted to ask you, so when you're using the what the heck is this stuff called? The modeling paste to adhere, and it pushes through the design. Do you wipe it off? I didn't notice that you do that.
Not always. Sometimes I do when it's very crispy and very, beautiful MLM, and that I would really like to showcase. But for most of the projects, it's just like the grungy composition anyway, and they don't need to be so perfect. Then I leave it, unless it's just like all over the place and really annoying into your eyes. So but most of the times, no, not really.
Okay. I was curious.
Yeah, especially here, look, when you have all these embellishments and then you have the beads and then you have a little bit of that paste, nobody will see it because it's all kind of together creating one composition. So no need to be so precise.
But sometimes you do actually wipe it off and pick it out with a paintbrush.
If I need to, showcase something and this is just in the middle and so annoying and you can see it right away, then I would wipe it with the wet brush.
Yeah.
When it's still wet, of course, because when it's dry and it's too late.
Yeah. Then you're scooping it out with like a knife.
Yeah. So now drying, trying to make sure everything will stay nicely. And then second coat to make sure all the things that you want to cover are going to be covered. I always recommend to do it in steps, even if you want to do a lot of white color or black color, it's easier to do it in layers instead of applying all at once, because when you do it at once, it's going to be very muddy. It's going to take away a lot of detail. When you do it in layers, you may get thinner coatings, and this is going to look so much better. Okay, let it cool down for a moment. And then we can repeat. Now, let's do it again. Now it goes so much faster as well. Yeah, this one I need to reglue because it's really moving and it's annoying, but in a moment. First, let's paint. Yeah, here we go. So now, because this one is a little bit moving, I will just add a tiny bit of the modeling paste again. And we will dry it and we can start working on the final stages. So it will be painting and adding finishing touches with wax. Ta-da! So I will dry and wait for you, so you will have a moment to finish painting.
So when you're making your projects during the class and you've made this
Yeah.
project like 4 times or 5 times now,
Yeah.
Do you find that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this again? Or does it still feel really cathartic and great just to be creating?
No, it does feel great, but the trick is I always have to change something, so I'm not getting too bored. Like I can't change the composition too much because our kit is limited, and I have to think about, saving the things for the next class tomorrow. But what I was planning secretly is to use different colors today. So I wanted, because we may have the rusty one already, so I was thinking maybe this one I will do in blue and rust instead. So it's going to be a little bit different. And this way it's going to create a different feeling to it, and you will see different color palette. So I'm going to do it with blue and rust instead of just brown and rust. So it's going to be different look.
Perfect.
Haha, surprise, surprise.
First, yeah. Surprise. That's perfect.
I usually teach the project many times. And because this is just natural, once you develop a class and it's a good one and successful, people want to learn in different places of the world. So I got used to that usually I teach one class for 2-3 years. So I'm getting kind of used to that you have to entertain yourself and change things. And it's easier for me as well, because as I told you, I'm not the same person at this different times of the life. I can feel like I need to work with the warm colors now, but in 2-3 weeks there's going to be this change. Something will shift in my brain and I will be just looking at the cold ones, because this is what happens with me. Like I have my color selection changes. Like I do have that, like most of the people. Like one day I want to dress in completely gray tones, almost no color, but next day I wake up and I feel like, no, give me something colorful. And the same with the project. It's just natural that we have different moods, different feelings, so it's hard to recreate the same thing even if you want to. Let's look at it. It's pretty white. If you think, sorry, I forgot. I told you not to touch it right away after drying.
Yeah.
And then what I did, I did the same thing. Yeah.
We're not laughing at you, don't worry.
No, not at all. Right. Yeah, we all go through phases. This is natural that we do. And some people get worried that, oh, I don't feel creative at all. I don't know what to do. And this is just a moment when they are probably just tired. And that means they have a phase for something else. Maybe they should just try something new, or maybe they should come back to something they did in the past and try to reinvent it. You can't expect yourself to be 100% creative all the time, because your body is not working like that. You have better days and worse days, and that's kind of natural that you have to give yourself a bit of the breathing space as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that is nice. I like it. We have good composition. We have nice blank canvas now. We can add any colors we like. So I will clean this palette so you will have a moment to organize yourself. And we will be going through 2 stages of painting. First of all, we're going to use liquid acrylic paints. And for that step, it's good to have smaller brush, but also it's good to have sprayer with water, because we will like the colors to float a little bit. And I'm looking if I have, yeah, this is water. It does look pink because the bottle is dirty, but this is water. See, water. And in the second stage, we are going to use waxes to add a little bit of the shadows and a little bit of the highlights. So we have 2 nice steps to do, and this is going to change our project a lot. Now to clean it and I'm coming back. No właśnie tak, już chyba cię napasują już po. My fingers are still dirty, but it's okay. It's just modeling paste. So now I'm going to take a smaller brush, for example, this size. And I told you we are going to do it a little bit differently. So instead of brown and rusty red, I'm going to use blue and rusty red. And this is very good combination. This is the one that you can see on the book we're going to do tomorrow, but I wanted to do a little bit different look for you. So it's going to be more entertaining for those of you who are taking the class for the second time. So are you okay to continue? We can go with the colors.
I think they're ready, so.
Yes, said Audrey. Okay, so I'm going to take a bit of Prussian blue, which is dark, like denim color, very nice blue tone, and it's going to be one of the colors for our composition. And as a contrast, we are going to use carmine, which is red but turning into rusty. This is very rich color, but once you water it down, it's going to turn more into orange. And then I will take a little bit of the burnt sienna. This is the paint that is great for like neutrals in case if I need it. Okay. First of all, we will start with the neutral color, and for us today, the neutral is going to be the blue. This is the one that is going to be like the background. And that means I will start to add it in some parts, and then I will dry it, and I will add like rusty touches with the carmine, which is red. I did something different here because this was like rusty with brown. So I started with the brown color, and it was more like vintagey. And then I started adding carmine as highlight, and then it made it look more orange. We can go on this first, and you don't have to add a lot of color to create really stunning effects. It's an alternative technique to spraying because you dab the color on, and then the water is doing the job for you. It's almost like watercolor effect. You can see how rich these paints are and how nicely they float.
Anna, I just want to interrupt really quick. The new kits for April have ochre instead of burnt sienna, just to let you know.
Exactly. So if you are planning to do more of the colors like here, instead of my blue, you are starting with ochre. Ochre, come on, where are you? This one, which is shade of brown. And that is another option, of course. And if you want to do something different, you can start with blue. I was thinking it would be a nice experience to try something else. So the same thing, we are now dripping the blue, adding the blue color on the outside frame. Important thing is not to wait too long. So once you apply the paint and you want it to drip just like water sprays, you need to spray the water quite quickly. Okay, so don't wait, like don't paint everything and then spray, because it may happen that in some parts your paint is going to be dry and permanent already. So it's very rewarding to see how it goes. You can see really cool drips happening. And remember, once you will dry it, it will turn permanent. So you can keep what you have and then add more on the top without any problem. Liquid acrylics are transparent acrylic paints, which means they are not going to look nicely on the darker backgrounds. That's why today we are using them on the white gesso. And this way they are going to be beautifully visible. So you can see the result. I will dry it so it will be easier to flip. So one color and we dry. Please stick to that rule so it's going to be much easier for you. One color and then we dry. I'm trying to dry as much as possible so then there will be no surprising drips coming because this paint is collecting in different parts, you know, in the gaps, and then it will surprisingly drip when you will move the project. So beware, try to control it so you won't have unexpected results. Oh, Hitomi says, I may try white, black, and gray look. Yeah, sounds great. I will try to see if this is completely dry, but it does look okay. So you can see I added first color. This is the main color. It's going to create different effect to what we have on the original. You can see we're going different way, but still I'm going to add the carmine, which is going to do the rust. Okay. I think I'm going to add a little bit inside of the flower because I completely missed that. Poor thing. But otherwise, it just really looks nice. You can see, take a little bit of the paint and it goes a very long way. So this is our background color, and there is a reason why I'm drying it before adding any other. We are going to use colors from opposite side of the color wheel. So if they will mix with each other, they're going to be turning brown, which may not be exactly what you wanted. To avoid the mud, it's easier when you're going to have one color permanent, so the blue, and then add the second one on the top of it as a highlight or as a contrast, and there will be no problems happening. There will be the mud problem will be greatly reduced. It does look really nice, even just with the Prussian blue. It's really beautiful color tone, and I absolutely love it. It's like denim, or like deep ocean color. It's always slightly bit on the dirty side. This is not like sky blue. This is something having a tone of green and a tone of gray in it. Absolutely beautiful. And I have very similar color of the paint in my bedroom on the walls, and it's even darker than that one. Okay, so now second step, we're adding the rusty color. I will just make sure this is completely dry because I still can see some water. Ah. And now we can play with adding rusty touches. The safest way, if you are not completely sure how to do it, is to put it next to each other, right? So not exactly on the blue, but close, and see what happens. Just look how pretty this is, right? So they're just overlapping a little bit instead of being completely one on the top of another. I hope that makes sense. You can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to be in between. Which is going to be much more colorful version, but still very, very grungy because of the rusty tones. Remember, we're going to tone it down as well. So now it seems to be very bright, but don't worry. You can see even with the dry paint, it still goes a little bit into brownish green, which is okay. It's not the final coloring yet. We're going to add some extras to it. And also when it goes dry, it is turning a little bit more into rusty tone, which is beautiful. It's not so shiny anymore as it was when it is wet. I'm trying to pick up the drip, but some of the drips are really beautiful, so I let them go as well. So showing you this one again. And now this one. Carefully, carefully. Of course, I have to paint that part as well, but that's in a moment. So you can see what we got. We got like blue color, which was our start. And now we are using the rusty red to add the grungy touches to it. It's a really good combination of colors because they are exactly from the opposite sides of the color wheel. So they are complementary colors. And if you want to avoid the mud, the trick with drying the first color before adding the second one and not layering them directly on each other is going to be huge help. Yes, they are very saturated colors. You have to remember that when you paint, because sometimes people are surprised how rich they are. Just to show you how cool it is, I'm just dipping the brush and how much of the pigment goes into the water. Na razie nie. Okay, now this one. I don't want to put too much of the rusty because it's going to be very rich. I will try to go mostly close to the cog because that would be kind of logical. So I will try to add it here and see what happens, how it's going to go. Look how beautiful it is. And don't forget about the water. Wow. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to create the effect. This cog started to be very rusty. And now when I dry, it's going to push the paint down as well. Look at that. So nice. Now I can continue adding a little bit more of the rusty and less water. So this is going to work a little bit better. And then adding rust on the front as well.
Carolyn says, I like how you're getting this greenish tone too.
Yeah, the greenish tone happens because they are transparent paints. So even if we layer on the permanent one, it's still going to get this grayish. That's why it's so important you will dry the first one. Otherwise, it will be really, really muddy. This way, we are able to control the mud. If you can hear any strange noises in the background, this is my over-enthusiastic dog who just got dinner and is very excited about everything. Trying to heal the bed, I think. Yeah, my puppy is now turning 5, it's 5 months.
Oh, goodness.
Very, very energetic. Yeah.
You have some cats too, don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 cats and 2 dogs.
2 dogs, oh goodness.
Yeah, well, we had 2 dogs before, and then our older dog, 15 years old girl, she passed away in November. And then we've got older one, Beagle, and she is, well, she's a bit problematic because she is diabetic as well. So we know that she may not have the longest life ever as well. So you know, keep it in mind that, well, she's fine, and then one day she goes worse. So it's kind of a roller coaster with her, and we are really worried sometimes, but luckily she just bounced back after another episode. So
I'm so glad to hear that.
we just came with the concept. Yeah, honestly, sometimes it is like, I hope she will make it. And then we got this one in January, and he was 2 months old, beautiful boy. And he's such a happy furball, so optimistic, and you know, loves everybody. He wants to play with everybody. So sometimes the cats and you know, they are not really amused with his tryings, because he would come and try to convince them, but he will keep trying until he will be successful. So if nobody wants to play, like now, he wants to play, and he will just try to, you know, bring the squeaky toy or bring the bed, because he's got this fluffy bed. He will bring it here. Honestly, if you feel that you are a little bit down, it's just enough to look at your puppy, and all the bad day is gone, because he is such an optimistic and so happy animal.
So I
Amazing.
can only recommend. If you feel that you are lonely, you should adopt an animal.
Yes, that's very true. I have 3 dogs myself, so I understand. Oriana and Carolyn say Kai is so adorable. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Kai, yeah, that's his name, yeah.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. I saw the picture you posted.
Yeah, he's handsome, all right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we were really lucky. It's just not easy now to adopt a dog. Even if you try to get it directly from the breeder, it's still very long waiting list because there's such a huge demand, which is good and bad. Because on one hand, it's great because more people will think about adoption from the shelters or the foundations. But even in foundations, sometimes it's hard. And the bad thing is people will try to buy it on the black market.
Oh, no, yeah.
This, I don't know how bad it is in USA, but in UK and Ireland, it was a big thing. There were many puppy mills that were discovered because dogs were living in terrible conditions. And it was because of the huge demand. And it was industry, honestly. So now they are doing a lot to stop that. But people are, I don't like to think people are irresponsible, but I just think they don't have the basic knowledge on how it works. They don't know how to say the dog is healthy or how important it is to breed the dog properly and to take care about so many different factors. They just want to have a puppy. They want to just get it quickly. And if you know more about dogs, in general about animals and conditions, you will know that this is not, there's no shortcuts here. You just have to do things right.
Correct.
And people just don't know it. And I'm sure if you would be able to educate them more, they will do more conscious decisions because nobody wants their animals to suffer, right? Nobody wants them to be in bad condition at all. But honestly, we had to wait for that one. It was born. I was lucky. It was born and it was still available. Yeah. But we had to wait 2 months to pick it up because I was just lucky. But my parents, who lost their dog, unfortunately, they had to wait on the waiting list for. I'm just thinking. From May, June, July. 4 months before they were born, because it was just planned that they are going to have. So, and luckily there was the dog they wanted. So they wanted a black mini Dachshund girl, right? So miniature.
They had a specific
in this one, there were 3 boys and 1 girl. So we were lucky that at least we got what they wanted. It's better to wait, of course. It's always, it's a very complicated topic.
Oh, yes, I completely agree. Audrey is saying, I love the colors.
I'm so glad. I'm just showing you close-up looks now so you can see how it is after drying. You can see why it was important to put them in layers. So if we would do it at the same moment, you can imagine this blue and this red would turn into very unflattering brown. And this way we are able to get these separate drips of blue and separate drips of rusty, which seems like we've got 2 different colors on the same surface, and you can still see both, right? So this is also, after drying, you have easier ability to see where do you need to do some extra touch-ups. Where do you need to do a little bit more of the color? So you can see here, I wanted more saturated red. And this part, I just reapplied the red so it got more dark, saturated, and more rich. So this is what we have, but don't forget, we still have the back. Okay, so with the leftovers of your palette, you can do some very cool watercolor result on the back of your clock as well. Don't forget it because you will be disappointed. Everything will be so pretty and colorful, and then you turn it back and there's nothing. So I did it in the past, so I know. Now, keep it in the right position, another hack. Yeah, if you could see my dog now, he's trying to destroy his bed. But it never happens. He is not tearing the toys apart, which is really surprising. He's just moving them from one place to another. Super cute. Yes, it is vintagey and springy at the same time. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm drying first color. Is it brown or is it blue? Doesn't matter. And then I'm going to apply the second one. Oh, good. Almost there. Picking up some of the excess. And now the reds. I may not have enough of the red. I will do a little bit more. And again, not everywhere. I would like to see the blue as well. And if you have too much, you can always pick up a little bit. And then drying. You can now see all the textures that we did with the modeling paste. It is giving us this beautiful texture result. Just look at that. So cool. This is going to be the back of our clock.
I am loving the back so much, Anna. That looks
Yeah.
amazing.
You know, sometimes it's really worth it to spend the time to create the textures first. So you will have something for the paint to penetrate, to have these effects visible. Because if it's just, you know, plain background, nothing happens. These drips wouldn't be so dramatic. They would be just, you know, much more like flat. But because we created those effects with the paste, now the result of the paint is so much spectacular.
It literally looks like the bottom of the ocean. It's amazing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So now we can check if there's anything that we would like to cover or to add some extras or not. And then we dry everything completely because we are going to do the wax. And wax, of course, is the last step. And we put it as the last step because this is product which is based on wax. So it's a greasy and it doesn't really like to be painted on the top. It's much, much harder to paint anything on the top of the wax. So it's better to do all the colors with acrylics before and then save the waxing as for the last step. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this rusty inside of the rose. Okay, and then final drying, and we go to the last step. Yeah, I think it's beautiful combination. That's why I wanted to show you, because I know a lot of people, you will be looking at it, 2 times, because you were doing the first color combination with me. So I wanted you to see the possibilities of that kit, that you can create really amazing effects. And stay hydrated, drink something.
It really is amazing how long these products will last between the waxes and the fluid acrylics.
Yeah.
They just, you
Yeah.
can use them for so long.
Yeah, they are very saturated, and wax is something that you use in small portions. So it's very good value for money when you get the bottle or the tube of these products, because they are going to last. Of course, maybe they are not very cheap, but they're not also expensive comparing to the time for how long you're going to use them. And I think it's really worth it, especially if you know that you love the color and you're going to use it a lot, to just buy it and use it, because this is what the paint is for, and this is what makes us happy. And once you find your favorite color combination, you should just have it on hand. Like, I knew that I will love the shades of brown and the reds, but I couldn't bring 2 reds at the same time. So I picked this carmine, which is rusty. And then later I added the crimson color, which is more like fuchsia. But if you put these 2 together, you have like perfect bloody red color. Like if you put these 2, then you have this red that you would consider to be like poppy red or blood red color. And this way we have so many variations as well. It's a little bit of the planning, so you can't put too many similar colors on the market at the same time, because people will always pick the ones that they think are going to be more useful. And your prediction is not always going to be the right one as well. So that's why. But I had to have the rusty.
It's so fun to experiment with them, right? Like to really test.
Exactly. And acrylics are great for mixing with each other, so you can make so many different tones. And it's easy. And you can see that, of course, you can use them for spraying, but you can also use them for traditional painting. And I just think they're absolutely fun. So look, now we're putting the paints on the side, and then we are going to bring the waxes. White pearl wax is the one that was going to be used for highlights, so we are going to use it as the last one. And then the one that I plan to be used in this class is graphite for extra shadows, just a little bit to make it a little bit more dramatic. If you don't have the graphite, the other good option would be matte wax, which is called charcoal. Charcoal, I will
just... their kit for April, Anna.
Yeah?
They got charcoal in
Can
their
you please
kit.
repeat?
They got charcoal.
They have charcoal in the kit.
Instead of the graphite this time. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I will try to find the graphite charcoal. See, they are not so different from each other. Just the difference is the charcoal is going to be matte finish, which is matte, and the graphite is going to be more shiny. Not a big difference, because most of the shine is going to come from the white anyway. Here's just like the darker color to work with. So I will just put them on the palette next to each other so you can compare. This is charcoal.
Anna, did it take you a long time to get the carmine into the perfect rest when making the color?
No, it took us 2 hours, because I was lucky to be in the lab when it was happening. So I came with the color concept, and because at that time I was able to go to the lab directly, I could cooperate with the people who were making the color samples, and they were very, very quick to make the right mixtures. So it was super easy, and I was so lucky. Honestly, 2 hours.
That's
but I had to do the work in advance. So I had to prepare the color combination palette, like examples, some sample colors, paint them so they will know what to look for. And then we were fighting to get the right ones. With the red, it was easy. It was harder to get to the right shade of blue and the right shade of green because they were too similar, and I was not really happy. In the end, we finished with beautiful avocado green, which is really wonderful, organic looking. And then the second one is emerald, which is more like bottle green, very cold shade of green. So they are really far from each other. So you can compare these two waxes. This is the graphite and this is the charcoal. They're very similar. So whichever you have, it's going to work. And I'm going to take smaller brush. And what I want to do is to dab a little bit of that just to create impression of the shadow in some parts. So you can see this is like a really dark gray color. It's really quite hard to create really black wax because naturally waxes have these ingredients which are later mixed into the beeswax, which always creates a bit of transparency. So it's hard to create transparent color that is going to be black at the same time. So it's kind of a challenge. What I'm trying to do now, I'm just dabbing that, in the place where the texture is to create a little bit of the depth. And if you can't get into it, you can dab through the embellishment and then take a wet cloth or something similar and wipe it on the top. And then it's much easier to get nice results. Let me show you that again. I'm taking it here, pushing through to get inside of the cog or around, and then picking off the excess when it's still wet. And then it goes in the deeper part. So if you cover too much, you still have a moment to remove it. But once the wax gets dry, it is permanent. So your working time is not going to be too long. So this way we get a little bit more of the drama in the story, a little bit more of the depth.
So
and pushing that.
Go ahead. I was going to say, does the wax take a specific amount of time to set, or is it just a couple minutes and you're good to go?
Couple of minutes. It is not like you have to wait 20 minutes with your, eye on your watch. It also depends how old the wax is, because the fresh one is going to dry a little bit longer because it's so wet, while the wax, which is a little bit older, it was sitting in the tube or the tin, and it's harder to touch. You will feel with your fingers. It's going to dry faster. So honestly, this is a few minutes. So if you do it like I do, dab it with the brush and then wipe off the excess easily, there is enough time. You don't have to be in a hurry. But if you're going to do it everywhere and then come back to the first place, you may see it's already turning dry. So it may not be exactly what you wanted. But this way, look how nice effects we are getting. A little bit of the darker tones to create shadows. You can do it around the pebbles as well. And of course, don't forget about the inside of the composition. We repeat that here as well. It's almost done and it's really rewarding. Just try not to go too dark, unless you go for the very dark colors, of course, then it's absolutely okay. It's more just for creating shadow. I'm thinking if there's any other place I need to add it here, but it does really look okay already. So I don't think so. I let it dry. And now adding a little bit of the shadow here, using the leftovers of my brush. Trying to go like in between the embellishments. So trying to imagine where the places are where naturally there will be a little bit darker color. Maybe here. Also, there are sometimes the questions, do you need to set, put any kind of final product on the top of the wax? And the answer is no, because it is drying permanently and it is really hard to remove it by accident. So if you feel that you would like to seal it with something, you can, but it has to be done only after a few hours when it's completely dry and completely hard. But when I spoke with the people who work in the lab, who prepared that mixture, they say, this is a sealant anyway. So the wax is the sealant, so you don't really have to do anything on the top of that. So that should be the answer that people have as well. So now the last step is the highlights. And I think you can see them here. They're the touches that are going to make the elements more shiny and more dimensional. Oops. So here we have this grungy blue, rusty colors. Now we're going to make them a little bit softer. So the same way, I'm going to squeeze a bit of the white wax, this white pearl metallic on the palette. I will try to find a clean brush. For example, this one. You can see I have some very old brushes I use mostly for waxes now. And then we will try to add the touches. So I can start with my finger. You can see how nice and white it is. And then do the highlights. And I like to put these highlights on the round elements, for example. I like to put them on the pebbles. And you can see how nice and clean the effect is. It's also a little bit transparent. So it's really adding mostly the highlight instead of like completely covering. So it's adding more of the dimension to the project.
It's amazing how rich and deep those colors are when you've applied water, and that white just makes all the pop happen.
Yeah, because this is the trick. When you add more of the shadow and light, the whole combination of the elements starts to look more 3D. This is one of the things with the dimensional collage. When you apply the colors, you also want to remember about the light and the shadow, because this is what we see. And it makes a huge difference once we start highlighting, because these important dimensional elements, they start to be visible again. Look, and your finger is your great tool because it can only touch that much. It can't go too deep. So you are showing the edges and the details of your project. Look now on the leaves, you can see this nice ribs. I'm not sure how you call these. Let's say these are ribs.
Sounds good.
Like how do you call these in English?
I don't know, like the veins, the veins.
Vines, okay, the veins, okay.
Veins,
Well,
right?
makes sense. I believe you.
I'm going with it.
And look, this way, just rubbing the white, we got so much more of the drama, right? This is so different now. just touching the things such as microbeads, we are adding extra highlight, or the pebbles. They love the pearly color because they turn into pearls themselves. Look at this, so pretty. And of course, it's up to you, but you have to know this is a very addictive process. So once you start, it's hard to stop. So on some point, you have to say this is finished and it is ready and you should not touch it anymore. And I'm getting very close to that point with the outside because I basically touched everything. You can see how nice and dimensional it is now. We can see the shadow we created with the darker wax. We can see the colors, the blues and the rusty and everything, but we also see the dimension because of the white color. So this ways makes sense. Veins. Becky, thank you very much. Yes, I use the palm of my hand because it's so much easier to just grab it from here, and it's like a very thin coat I need. So this way I can pick up just as much as I need instead of, having this big blob. So it's also warm, so that makes it easier to spread. And of course, we do the same thing for the inside. If you want better coverage, the same thing as with gesso. Put one coat, let it dry a little bit and put a second coat. So this white pearl wax is going to accumulate. Because now if it's warm, just try it from your hand and then you try to apply it, you will just smear it all over instead of multi-layering. So if you plan to do so, look at that, so pretty. In the meantime, when it's drying, I will look for something to put my photo on. Kajtek, przestań. My dog is trying to dig a hole in the box. Nobody knows why. Oh, that looks good. Now I will need to put something here to stick it on. And for this purpose, I always have some cardboards on hand. So I can feel that empty space. And it's going to stick nicely. Where is the modeling paste? Ah, here. Oh, too big. You can use double-sided foams if you like them. Some people use them a lot. Like these ones. They also work pretty well. No, I have to lift it quite far because this flower is so dimensional. I think one more. Yeah, he keeps coming here with his eyes and saying, "Oh, I'm bored. Please play with me."
They're so good at making you feel guilty.
Of course. Sorry, I'm busy. You have to wait. It's not so long. No, Yeah, he's getting better at that. But the first moments when I needed to make sure he is quiet and not disturbing. Oh, but now he learned the drill and he knows that it's not going to help a lot. Look, using many layers of the cardboard, I was able to level this photo enough so it's sitting on the top of the flower and on the cardboard at the same time. Now, if I need to, I can reapply a little bit of the wax somewhere, but honestly, I don't think so. It does look great. I will try to put it one into another so we can see the result of our hard work. Oh, eyes of the Cocker Spaniel are hard to resist. It's a little bit like Beagle's eyes as well, big, brown, and so, so heartbreaking. Look at these girls. Oh, here, the closing. Ta-da!
Beautiful.
So let's look at the front. I'm just making sure everything is fine. Yeah. Here we have the sides of it.
It's
And the
so
back.
great how
Pretty dramatic.
you can really see the different colors and then you see where they blended. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So if you feel this is more blended and then the back is so colorful, now you can take a bit of this pearl wax and do some highlights here as well. So it's going to look a little bit softer in some parts. You can see what I'm doing. So that may be the thing that you are missing because we have softer colors on the outside. And now the back looks a little bit more dramatic, so we can soften it in some parts as well. I still have leftovers here on the palette, so it's easy. Nice and pearly.
Yeah, that white pearl is very addictive.
Yeah, I know. I know. Let me put the other one together so you can compare how these color palettes look next to each other.
So you have people saying love it and clapping to you. So beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love the colors. Love this color combo. Suits the vintage photo with the two girls.
Oh, look. Oh, this is very distracting now with all these colors. Right? We have the same technique, very similar composition, of course, but then the color scheme is different. So that is giving you idea how you can do it. However, if you plan to do it in the future with different color schemes, try to stick to 2 colors of the paint maximum and then some highlights, because if you're going to go too far with the colors, it's going to be hard to control it. You can see how much color we got just using 2 paints. So keep in mind that you're going to do the highlights, maybe metallic white or maybe metallic silver, gold, or copper, but they are like separate color on the top, different to what you have. So don't go too far with the paints. This is like a side note when it comes to color combinations.
Well, and you barely used any. That was so amazing how far it will go.
Yes, with this technique, when you use the water sprayer, you don't really use a lot of paint. This is almost like just dabbing a tiny bit with the brush, and then it bursts into amazing colors very quickly. So you don't have to worry about that, that you're going to use a lot of your paint. It's really saturated. Have you got any questions? Because, you know, we see each other tomorrow as well. But if you'd like to ask about something, I'm here for you. I'll just
Well,
try to.
I'd like to allow people to come in and show their stuff if you're finished.
Yes.
So one thing, Anna, was sometimes people were saying that they wanted to still see your project. Yeah, so that finished piece is just stunning. We love it. And Tracy said she would expect the blue to be darker. I know, it's so nice. The technique that you used lightened it up.
This color is very strong. So when that's intentionally, I showed you the size of the brush I'm using. It's a really small brush, so I only pick up a tiny bit of paint. And then the water makes the job, right? But you have to take just a little bit of the paint because both carmine and Prussian blue, they're extremely saturated colors. All the acrylics from liquid acrylic line are very saturated. So you use tiny bit and it makes a huge difference. So this is important that you keep it in mind, because if you're going to paint them straight right away, they're going to be very much into your face, which sometimes is great because this is what you are looking for. But when it comes to the colors that are supposed to be more vintagey, more muted, more delicate, you have to treat them with the respect. So tiny brush and a lot of water. You can dip your brush in the water before you start painting as well. You can think about them like a concentrated inks almost. This is how they behave, and they have a lot of wonderful colors to choose from as well. So that is the final project.
That's beautiful.
A little bit different. I was thinking it's going to be more entertaining because this is brown and carmine, but here is blue and carmine, and you have the same set of techniques, but the final look, just because of one change, is different. Yep, so you can see.
I love it. If anyone would like to come on and show their project that they're finished with, or even if you're in process, you're welcome to come. Just raise your hand and we'll bring you in. Carrie Ann wants to show hers. Are you ready?
Yay!
All right, Carrie Ann, let me promote you here. And here she is. So Carrie Ann, oh, I think Jamie, somehow it made Carrie Ann a host. Did you do that, Jamie?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. All right, here you go, Carrie Ann.
I had a different clock this time.
Oh, can you put it closer to the camera? Oh my goodness.
Can you see it, Anna?
No, I can see your photo with your precious song.
No, wait, let's see. Can everyone see Carrie Ann?
No.
Okay, let's see.
I could only, Oriana can.
I don't know why.
I'm the only one.
Just you.
Just me.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Maybe remove me as a co-host and I can see it then.
Oh, here we go. Did that work, Anna?
Yay!
Okay. I swear to God, you just got to keep pushing buttons on Zoom.
I look at this clock and you have wings under it as well.
Yeah.
And then the rose, and then there is.
This is
wow.
And
it's
this is
very
the working
magical.
clock, so yeah.
Perfect.
Flowers on top.
I love it.
And I used paper flowers today, just like you were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Exactly. This is important that you use what you have on hand. And you know, the set of techniques is just idea how to put it all together, because you can use almost anything. But I love how you apply the colors, you know, on the side of the face of the clock. It's that lovely drip that is happening, and here the side as well. So a lot of the nice dimension.
Pretty cool.
I love it.
Well done.
Thank you for a great class again.
My big pleasure.
Marianne, do you have any pictures of your eggs printed, or are they only on your phone?
Only on my phone.
All right,
You
you guys need to go on her Facebook and look at those.
I can try to find one and see
If you can,
see it.
if you can find me and send me the message, I would be so happy.
I can do that.
Thank you. Because now,
in the Prima Art Venture group.
I can
That
post
would
them
be
there as well.
thank you.
Here is one of them, if you can see it.
Hold it up closer. More.
It's purple. Oh yeah. Wow. It's purple and silver, and it has something really cool on the bottom as well.
Yeah, it's a big lace.
Okay.
Amazing.
I love it. More photos, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I will send
Yeah,
you
this
some.
is. Yes, please, because they are going to be so inspiring. Probably next year I will have to do more eggs.
Yeah.
Now once I started, so I have to get some ideas. Thank you so much for the lovely presentation of your project. It does look amazing.
Thank you. Bye.
You have to put it in a good place now, somewhere on the.
Yes. Very nice. Thanks, Carrie Ann. Okay, let's see. We're going to promote Tracy and Tracy, go ahead and turn on your camera.
It says that you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
No, I haven't.
You have to promote her to a co-host.
I can't. I don't know what's going on. I didn't do it with Carrie Ann either. She came in as a host. I don't know what's going on. The Zoom is being so fun right now. I don't know. Jamie, you're not even a host. I don't know what's happening. Let's see. Zoom is being...
Move Tracy back to attendee and try it again.
Uh-oh. Okay. Can everyone see Anna right now?
We see you. Now we see Anna.
Okay. So let me try to bring you in again, Tracy. Zoom is not liking us right now.
It does happen.
Okay, now see, when I brought her in, she came in as a host. Okay, go ahead, Tracy, try again. Turn your camera on. There you go.
Yay! Well,
Yay!
I wanted to do patina this time, and I like the colors you choose this time, but this is,
Oh, yeah.
so this was the colors that I did.
Very nice shades of blue with a little bit of the greenish tone, yeah?
Yeah, and then I just highlighted with gold, and I just used regular old acrylic paint.
Still works. And
Yeah.
I think the composition inside looks very good as well.
Well,
There's
I
something
have,
round in the middle.
well, it's a frame, but I haven't picked up, haven't decided on what picture yet. And it still dripped, and I'm pleased with that. It did not drip as much on the front as it did last time, so, but that's okay.
You can always add more. It's hard to remove it, so it's better if you prefer.
Well,
you can always add.
I figure it's probably that it's better that I didn't, but anyway, but I'm happy with it. But yes, I do like the colors that you did do this time, but I am so surprised that that blue is not darker, but yes, I will learn. I will learn.
It could be.
Yeah, I will learn that your paints, yeah, use a smaller brush and maybe it'll be better. So, but yeah.
You know, you have to just get used to what they do. And once you have this knowledge and you know your techniques as well, because we are all different. For some people are very heavy-handed, some people are very delicate. Then it's easier for you to understand.
That's very true. And I have used ink before, so I think that I could do it. I hope.
I'm sure.
Because I know with ink, you have to be very light-handed. So I'm hoping,
You can think about them almost like they are acrylic ink, and this way it's going to be easier. They're not, but they behave in a similar way. So that experience will help you. And you can always add more layers of paint if you want to make it darker. So that is.
I'm happy with the color combo. I just, like I said, I would like more of the drip on the front, but I would rather not take a chance.
Yeah, I think you know, there's a point when you just got to stop, right?
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
In the worst case,
and especially since the drip did do well on the side, so I'm good with that.
You can always sleep with it, and if you decide tomorrow you want to drip, you can.
There you go.
There
you go. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, so all right, did anyone else want to come on? And if there's any other questions, please let us know. Yeah, it's not even letting me like put my video on, so I don't know.
Oriana is raising her hand.
Oh, Oriana, yes, come in here. Let me. Okay, here we go. I think somehow Zoom is just being fun. Okay, Oriana, let's see if it will. Oh, look, it's doing it. Oh, it made me the host again, Jamie. Okay.
I noticed.
Woohoo, Zoom, just do whatever the heck you want, mister. Okay, spotlight. Here we go. Oriana.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, beautiful.
Okay, I have not finished. I'm doing this. I'm using, but this little one don't want to get thick. I'm doing a little more grungy. I'm adding a little, some black, and also the top is very, a little bit darker too.
Wow.
Very cool.
This one, from the last time, I added a thingy, I don't remember, like a vellum, and it has light. So when you turn it on, it has.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and you can see the insides. So that's the one I did. The one I did last time. But now I'm going a little bit darker. So right now I'm adding graphite waxes in the wings and in the edges. So it's a little more edgy.
I love the idea. It's going to be, it's going to be very gothic in style with all these skulls, and this is going to be very cool. Yeah, you know, I like these things. So.
And I think the inside is somewhere. I stick to very clocky thing, you know? But this is, I did lots of layers of painting here, so I'm a little bit slow.
Perfect.
Oh
as
yeah,
long
it's
as
so Halloween.
It's great.
I love Halloween projects. I'm still, you know, the Baba Yaga. I have to steal a minute to say, being patron for Anna is the greatest experience I have right now. Yes, it's so much fun. She's so sweet. She knows all our names. Amazingly, she knows all of us. She's a great teacher. I've learned so much in this year, but because it's not just doing projects, it's also learning about techniques, composition, paintings, and so much inspiration. So if you have the opportunity to be her patron, it's going to be amazing. You won't regret it.
Oh, what a great meal.
And I didn't make her do it. She did it herself.
No. And also, I'm in the whole grouping mode because yesterday, as some of you know I'm from Panama. So everything you send to me has to go to the United States and then comes to Panama. And yesterday I got my book. I want to show you tomorrow, but and it's so great and it smells so good. It's a mix of old book and love. I don't know. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm so glad you like it. Like you just posted this on Instagram to me and I was like, yeah, she got it. Good.
Finally, yeah.
Yay.
I don't take more of your time, but thank you so much, Elena.
Thank you
Jane,
so much.
and
And
all of the group of gathered. You're amazing.
Yeah, thank you. We love that you're having fun.
thank you so much.
Ariana. All right, let's see if I can. Okay, we have Debbie. Okay, Debbie. All right. Okay, Debbie, go ahead and try your camera. Yay, okay, let me spotlight her. Okay,
I'm
Debbie.
waiting.
All right, so I have a couple questions.
Hello. Yes.
So I'm putting this piece, this big metal piece with the clock on it inside.
Mhm.
Should I like do that a totally different color or just?
Can you lift it a little bit up so I can see closer? You know, in the way I can see there is this clock face with the flowers. The color of the flower is corresponding with the rusty color of your embellishments painted already. So it does look nice as it is. What you can do if you want, you can take a little bit of the paint on the brush, you know, very watered down rusty color, and maybe make it dirty a little bit so it looks like this rust is also dripping on the face of the clock. Otherwise it is perfect.
Well, I haven't painted this piece though. I haven't.
Yeah, exactly. So you can play a little bit just with the rust to see how this is going to just add extra contrast to it. But it's beautiful element with these flowers and the clock face. So very nice focal point.
Great. And I did the top like this.
Pretty. Yeah. Quite cool with these cogs on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I haven't done pearl or anything, but I'll do that next.
Yeah, this is, you know, this is the last step. So once you're done with all painting and everything is dry, then you can do the waxing, because it is just last thing you do. But so far the color palette looks great.
Okay. Well,
how did you enjoy it?
Yeah, thank you so much. I love taking classes from you, and I love all the work that Elena and Drew have done as well. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm so glad you could join us today.
Yes, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow I have to find a new book now because I'm running out of books.
Oh dear.
So funny. All right, Anna, let's see. We have Michelle Gardner that would like to join us. Hang on. So, Anna, really quick, I'm going to take a screenshot so we can have people, hello, T. So we can have people post their pictures in the group. And let's see, Michelle, promoting you to co-host. Okay, try your camera, Michelle.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello. Hi, Anna. Hi, Elena.
Hey.
So this is mine that I did the first time.
Very cool. And the photo inside, so nice.
Thank you. Yeah, my husband and I when we were young. So I'm not finished, but this is what I'm doing this time.
Wow, this
on there.
shell on the top. Yeah. That
then-
is so perfect for the blue color.
I know I would planned this and then you did the blue and the rest. It's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm doing. So here is the inside.
Oh,
And then this
our
shell
own
and keeping it
color.
its own color. So that will go
Yeah,
there.
very, very
so.
good idea. Yes, it does look beautiful, and it's going to be so great with the ocean colors like that. I love it. And you know, I have
Thank
a
you.
big collection of the shells myself because I keep collecting them wherever I go, and I love using them in the projects because the shapes are amazing. It's such a simple thing.
They're
People
so
take
fun.
it for granted, but they are absolutely beautiful, and they add beautiful dimension as well. So like, I'm so waiting to see it all together.
When it's finished, I'll post a picture. And I just want to say thank
Please.
you. I agree with what everybody said. You know, Anna, your classes are just so amazing. I took the one a couple of weeks ago or a week ago from England, the notebook.
Yep.
And I made it specifically for my sister because she's a knitter and sewer and spinner, and she wanted a journal to keep everything. So, and she absolutely loved it. Like,
Thank you. Thank you
it-
very much. It's my big pleasure.
yeah,
Thank you so much for coming to the classes. And it's, you know, I'm here if you need me. You can find me more of my classes if you want to. It's just all waiting for you. So check it out.
I'm definitely going to sign up for the Patreon. So
check it.
Thank
And
you.
in the
And
best
Elena-
part is you can just watch everything what was available before. So if you join now, you have like 1 year of classes to go back to.
Oh God, how am I going to get it all
Not
done?
pushing anything. You don't have to look at all of them. But it's really, really cool because we built very nice library this way. So you can come back to the previous things as well. I didn't even think this project will grow like that. So I'm so happy that we are able to see each other and work with each other online, and Artventure and Patreon and other classes, just creating this community. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And Elena, everything that you're doing and have done, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. We work hard. We want to make sure this is a good experience for everyone. So thanks,
You've
Michelle.
done a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see
Thank
you tomorrow.
you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye.
Tomorrow. Okay, so let me see. All right. Does anyone else want to come on and chat with Anna or show us your stuff? Let us know. Otherwise, it is 12:20. Girl, you finished in time. I'm impressed. And I'm so happy that we had people that came on to do it again, and people that, whoops, somehow I just changed the wrong person. Sorry, Jamie, I'm bringing you back in. Oh gosh. But yeah.
The day like that.
Yeah, you know, why not? So, but super fun. I think that part of this, Anna, is that this is such an opportunity for people that can't normally come to something like this. You know?
Exactly. Yes, because for a lot of people, classes are not easy to get to. It's too far, or it is in the wrong timing, or they just don't have any spare money at this moment when I'm around. And this is just not coming together. So online class is the chance when you can just take it from home. So if you are not able to travel, or you just don't feel good in the bigger classroom, because not all the people enjoy company that much for different reasons, this is a chance just to be in the group in a safe way from the your own personal space. And if you plan it right, you can have in-person contact as well, so you can chat or you can ask questions, and this way you get the closest experience to the live class we can get. So I think these events are really important. I'm so glad we are able to do it.
Yeah, me too. And to be able to continue, because Prima is all on board for us doing more. So we are working on finalizing our teachers for the next art venture. And then, we are going to do in-person art venture again, just not anytime real soon. So we'll just continue like this for as long as we need to. So we have each other and our community to build. But really excited about people joining your Patreon group because
I hope so.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So thank you guys so much. I love the projects. I love all the different iterations of the projects that people have created.
I was planning secretly from the beginning to make different colors today, just to keep it a little bit more entertaining, also for myself. And I'm so happy you were on board with that idea, because this way you can see different variations with just a little bit of the change. The project can look so much different, and it's going to be more fun, or maybe, fitting more into your place. For example, if you want to put it in the certain room, or you just feel like your colors are more blue or green or yellow, you can just use the same set of techniques, and by swapping the elements or changing the colors of the paints, you get completely different outcome. And this is also important thing to learn from the class, that it's not like you have to do it only this way. No, this is a set of techniques you can just use for your own advantage and the way you like it.
Yeah. Well, I did sit here and try to create a little bit with you, but I didn't have another clock. So I spent half the time just trying to find my focal piece. And then I picked this picture of Devon on the beach, and I just used a canvas because I didn't have another clock, and I literally used leftovers, but I
don't see anything. You have to show me now.
Yeah, I haven't put the color on it yet, but he's gonna.
Okay, I wait.
Yeah. So I will get the color on here and I will post it, but it's just, a little canvas. But I love that there's so much stuff left over. Like, I wanted to use it. So I'll get the canvas going and then get the color on here, and then I'll post it in the group. But I did create a post. So please share your images. Carrie Ann, please share those eggs. We want to see those eggs. Jamie put up here that the code for Art Venture is working. It's Art Venture 15 for orders over $25, and that's on Frank's site. So anyone that was having trouble with his coupon code, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Are you coming? Are you?
I promise I will post the photos of my project tomorrow. So tomorrow of my time. So in the middle of the night of your time, probably. Because I need daylight to take good photos, and now we are just turning into 8:30 p.m. So there's no daylight left, a little bit of the daylight left. So it's better to wait. So you will see the real colors tomorrow on the photos, and you can compare to what you have seen on the camera. And this way it's going to be possible to analyze all the details if you want to.
Yes. And then you guys, Anna will be checking the post. So get your pictures up. I hope everybody's having fun with the projects. And tomorrow, Anna, do you think you're going to be doing any twists on your book?
Surely. Tomorrow I have to change the colors again because I want to do it differently. So maybe tomorrow we're going to do very vintagey colors. We will be just using browns and reds instead of blue, just to make it different. And I have the elements that are saved, but maybe instead of the book, I'm going to work on the journal cover because I'm running out of the books at this point. And I will probably take a chipboard journal cover, something that is possible to use for the same kind of technique very easily as well.
Yeah. Perfect. Can't wait. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.